So this is part 2 of covalent compounds, and we're going to talk about the different types of covalent compounds. The first type we're going to talk about are diatomic molecules. So these are atoms of some elements that are never found alone. That means they're always bound to something else. So for example, oxygen is never just oxygen by itself, just the single atom. We're either going to find it bound to something like hydrogen and water, or carbon and carbon dioxide, nitrogen and N2O5. But just oxygen by itself, like the oxygen atom as an individual, doesn't exist in nature. So if it isn't bound to something else, like we see with like bound to hydrogen or carbon here, if it is, it will just bind to itself and form O2. So when we say we breathe oxygen, or when we talk about oxygen in reaction, we're talking about O2, not just O. We call this a diatomic molecule. So the diatomic elements, these are the ones that form these diatomic molecules. So they're always bound to something else. These are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, chlorine, iodine, and bromine. You do need to memorize these. Now, there's an easy way to do this, and I call them hydrogen with 7, or with 7 with hydrogen, sorry. So we can see nitrogen is element 7, and then it kind of forms a 7 on the periodic table here, and then also hydrogen as well. So we never find those 7 alone, and that means they're always bound to something else. So like sodium bromide here, or it's just bound to itself as Br2, but never as just B. So when we talk about them as individuals in a reaction or something like that, it would always be like H2, O2, N2, and so on. So if I say oxygen gas, what do you write? You write O2. Nitrogen gas, it's going to be N2. Chlorine, Cl2. Now, iodide, this is actually I minus. Notice the I, right? That tells us it's the ionic form. Iodine would be I2. So definitely be careful. And iodine is like one of the hardest ones to always say correctly. So I understand that one being difficult, but definitely think about like chlorine, chloride. If I talk about chloride, it's in a compound. It might, if it's by itself, it's Cl minus, or like say I say like carbon tetrachloride, that means that I'm referring to it in a compound with something else. Tetra is actually 4. All right. We also have covalent networks. This is when so instead of having like an individual molecule like we've talked about, they form crystal structures as well, but they have covalent bonds. So just like how ionic compounds form crystals, sometimes we do have covalent compounds that are crystals. So like diamonds are one of these. So it's just a bunch of carbon atoms bound together in a rigid network. And that's what we see here. So it's like carbon bound to a bunch of other carbons, and it's forming a really rigid structure. Acids are another type of covalent compound that are really special to us. We're always going to see hydrogen in them. And one of the ways that we define acids is that they release this hydrogen when they're in water. Remember when I talked about in difference of electronegativity how we can have some spectrum of properties? Acids are one of these that can have that spectrum. They can have both ionic and covalent properties, but they are a covalent bond. But in water, it's going to release the proton, which is H+, and then the other one is just an ion like that. We're going to get way more into acids at the end of the semester, so I'm not going to do too much on them now, but I do want to talk about their naming, so don't worry about all of this. The key thing I want you to kind of know here is this highlighted or this bolded part, right, that they are going to have hydrogen in them. All right, so those are the different special types of covalent compounds.